Candy Cook
and Holden Robertson
with Cobb Nature Show. We have a great show planned for this month, and we hope that you'll stay tuned for the whole thing. There is book recommendations from librarians,
and we've got some interesting bio facts and some trails,
arts and crafts, and Cherokee Connections with Tony Harris and his wife Kara.
As always, we hope that you'll join us for the full length of the show, but if you're interested in any particular segment or activity, our timestamps are right here.
I am here at the Mabel House today, and I'm with Tanya McCain, who is going to tell us a little bit about what they do at the Mabel House and how you can get involved.
Thank you, Candy. Yes, here at the Mabel House, we have all kinds of art classes. Our next session does start February 26th, so please visit our website and see what class might be right up your alley. Also, I'd like to tell you about a special wellness event we have coming up on March 23rd and 24th. It is all about taking care of you. Saturday is Self-Care Saturday. Sunday is Sensory Sunday. Come join us. We have lots of different sessions, yoga, tai chi, candle making, you name it, we'll have it. Come on down.
The big question is, what am I doing here on the Nature Show at Mabel House Art Center? And that's because I have an exhibit right over here that we're going to take a look at. This is my art exhibit here at the Mabel House. It is art from natural resources. Now, all of the art here that I have provided is made with things that I grew myself or that I acquired from our Cherokee garden in the Green Meadows. We have birch branches. This is a river cane flute. Also, there's a gourd. And also, if you come down, you can grab yourself a seed so you can plant your own gourds and make your own gourd birdhouse. But our fabrics, you can see some fabric here and on down here. These fabrics were dyed using natural plant dyes that were provided to me by the Cherokee gardeners from Green Meadows. And I'm going to take you down there, and we're going to talk a little bit about river cane flutes and the Cherokee garden. While you can view the natural art exhibit at the Mabel House throughout February, you can come to Green Meadows Preserve and view the Cherokee garden any time of the year. I came to show you the river cane. River cane is a plant that was used in many different ways by the Cherokee, including to make flutes, like the one on exhibit at the Mabel House and the one that I have here. Cherokee flutes are very unique, and in the future I might get Tony out here to tell you a little story about the flutes. But for now, here's Tony, our Cherokee elder, Tony Harris, and his wife Kara, talking about a few of the plants that you might find planted out here in the summer months.
We're talking this morning about foods that the Cherokees raised and ate. And the three sisters were an integral part of the Cherokee diet. And that consisted of corn, beans, and squash. And the Cherokees raised basically three types of corn: the white flour corn, the yellow flour corn, and the flying eagle corn. The flying eagle corn is more of a white kernel with a black emblem on the top of each kernel that looks like an eagle in flight. They would plant the corn until it got about 2.5 feet tall. Then they would plant the beans next to the corn, and this is the Trail of Tears beans right here. They would plant those beans, and the beans and the corn had a symbiotic relationship. The corn provided a trellis for the beans to grow on and to get to the sunlight, but beans produce more nitrogen than what they use. So what does corn need to feed on? Nitrogen. So the beans help to feed the corn as well. And then after that, they would plant squash at the base of these plants. And this is a Cherokee Georgia candy roaster squash. And these get quite large, but they would plant these at the base of the corn to provide protection from weeds, to keep the weeds down, to keep a constant moisture level next to the plants. And also they can grow more crops in a smaller area. So it provided three different things to the Cherokees. The Cherokees also used the Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke root, which looks very similar to a ginger root, but this was a staple that contained about 67% carbohydrates and about 18% protein, and they would use it very much like you would a potato. And its texture and taste raw. It tastes extremely similar to water chestnuts. Now, the Cherokees also used wild onions. And this is the wild onion. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. They would only eat the dark green top. They wouldn't eat any of the white roots or chokes at the bottom. And so they would use this for seasoning. The Cherokees my mother would use this, scramble it in eggs. In fact, if you want to know more about the wild onions, just Google Wild Onion Festival, Oklahoma, and you can see how the Cherokees and other tribes used the wild onion. And this is a festival in April, and it is a very big thing in Oklahoma. This is the turkey gizzard beans, another variety of bean. The bean is multicolored, and some say that it got its name from the fact that if you were to cut open the gizzard of a turkey, the insides, what you'd see on the inside would look very similar to what the shape and color of these turkey gizzard beans. This is actually a tool that Cherokees use to plant with. This is a deer antler strapped to a stick, and they could use this to scratch the soil and put seeds in at a later time. So the Cherokees lived very close to the earth. They relied on vegetables. They loved. Most of the Cherokees had vegetable gardens prior to the Trail of Tears, and all of these seeds are from the Cherokee Seed Exchange in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, which I have access to, being a Cherokee citizen.
Yeah, my name's David. I work for Cobb County Parks, and I'm kind of here to tell you guys about Lost Mountain. I've been here for almost 8 years, 7 or 8 years, I can't remember. But when I first walked out here, all we had were hiking trails. And so it's a beautiful trail system. But a few years later, we came out and we turned this into some multi-trails. And that means we marked them. They're labeled. They're marked with trail signs, so you know what trail you're on. And we also added some like berms and things up here because there's some good downhill, so you can get a little bit of speed here. And we also named the trails. Like this is called, this one is a Hawthorne Trail, which goes kind of along the lake. It has some pretty good elevation. Backwoods Trail is back up in here. And again, it's got some good elevation in it. Bigfoot is also back in here. This is Bigfoot. And it's kind of a hand-cut trail, goes across a couple of creek crossings. It is a little more difficult than these trails here, a little more challenging, but most people can do it. And the blue trails here are the easiest, and they go along the lake, so therefore they're going to be pretty flat. And the ones that go around the baseball fields are pretty flat and kind of fun to ride on because these are all gravel trails. There's pretty good elevation, like I said, in here, which makes it fun to ride, but there's also some pretty climbs that aren't too bad, and nothing here that people couldn't hike good. It's a beautiful trail, especially in the spring and summer. We do have directional, meaning that, say, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if you're a walker or jogger, you'll go counterclockwise. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, if you're a walker, you'll go clockwise. The bikers go opposite, and that makes it nice because if a hiker is coming up and a biker's coming up, they're going to be able to see each other instead of the biker having to go around somebody when they can't see us. These trails have a lot of fun to ride. There's quite a bit of elevation and some really good downhills, as you can see up here, that I'm going to bypass, and I'm going to make a left turn here. Here's one of the many bridges out here that we maintain and regularly check them to see that they're firm and well built. These trails have a lot of elevation. I'm not going real fast on them, but if you do, you can get some good speed here. And these trails do have a very light footprint. They do very little to harm the environment and give people the opportunity to come out and walk or ride the trails. But you can see this is called the Backwoods Loop. It goes back around there maybe a mile. This is Bigfoot. This one is a little more difficult and more of a hand cut area, and it crosses a creek as well. But at this point I'm going to head back this way and go back to the parking. And this one I just got off is the Hawthorne Loop, and that's what's going to take me back.
Hi, I'm Deb Bice here at Cobb Wellness Garden at the Farm Bureau, Cobb County. I'm a master gardener, and we are here growing food for those who are in need of fresh produce in South Cobb. We have our partners who have made this all possible. 1 year ago, this was just a vacant lot. Now we're here growing food for the Atlanta Community Food Bank that's located on Austell Road. All of the produce and herbs that we grow are donated to that food bank. Back in the fall, we planted cold weather hardy plants like our Brussels sprouts. We have arugula. We have some collards. But did you know that Brussels sprouts grow down in here on the stalk? We started with a work day with WellStar. The employees came out and hammered in rebar. We put on these PVC hoops. We use a frost cover to protect it when it's on its coldest nights. But again, we chose vegetables that have a hardiness to cooler nights and cooler weather. Okay, one of the other things to do in your cold months when it's just too cold to go outside is start planning. What are you going to plant this spring? Well, what we've done here is come to a board, and we've planned out, these are going to be our spring crops. And the objective we have here is to produce as much as we can in a 4x12 raised bed. We also have an area designated for doing some demonstration gardening or container so that we can show people who live in an apartment that you can grow food on your sunny balcony in a flower pot. The other thing we also plan to do is we want to make sure that the soil is ready. So we're going to take soil tests. Go to your county extension, you can pick up your test bag, and on the back there are instructions on how to collect your soil, then return to the county office, and they'll send it to UGA. The results of the test will be emailed to you.
Well, I have a question. Why is it important to do a soil test?
Well, if you don't want to just willy-nilly throw chemicals into the ground. When you think you need nitrogen, but you don't, and maybe you're needing actually lime, so you're just making bad matters worse.
Thank you.
Okay. The other thing we want to do is we want to start some of our plants in there. So we've cleaned up our pots that we've picked up. We used them last year. We make sure that they're clean. We read on the back of our seed packets it's whether it's recommended to sow directly into the ground or whether it's best to start them in the pots. We also look at our tools to make sure that they are in prime condition to be used. Did someone put away a shovel that was dirty and it needs to be cleaned up? Because the other important thing to do is after the use of your tools, you need to make sure that they're clean, especially if you've worked near a diseased plant. You don't want to spread that disease through your garden. To find out more information, you can follow the Master Gardener Volunteer of Cobb County on Facebook. You can also follow us at The Wellness Garden at Cobb County Farm Bureau. You can also go to our website to find out other events such as our Gardener's Night Out or our Grow Virtually and other areas in the county of where we dig. And that website is cobbmastergardeners.com. We are here every Monday at 9 to 11, and this is where we work and in the garden and doing our harvesting or amending our beds or just getting things added to the facility.
It's a special time of year, and that is the time of year when we start getting our pollinator garden ready. And the first step of that is to get some seeds ready to go. A lot of our pollinator plants require something called cold stratification in order to germinate. And what that means is they need to be exposed to cold, moist conditions for a certain amount of time before they will be ready to germinate and grow into a plant. So today I'm going to show you how to get some of those seeds ready for planting. So we're going to cold stratify our seeds. Let's start with swamp milkweed. It's one of our native milkweeds that hosts monarch butterflies in this area. The monarch caterpillars can only eat the foliage of milkweeds. Without milkweeds, the caterpillars would not be able to survive and transform into butterflies. And monarchs aren't the only pollinator that loves swamp milkweed. These flowers are highly attractive to a wide variety of butterflies, honeybees, many kinds of native bees, and hummingbird moths. They all commonly visit swamp milkweed flowers, and hummingbirds will also occasionally feed on the flowers. Swamp milkweed is especially important to our monarch butterflies because that is the only plant that they will use for their eggs. All right, so first thing we're going to use is a plastic bag. If you have a plastic bag handy, it doesn't have to be this big, I just have this handy. And what we want to do is write on it and the date, which is today is February 7th, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to leave these go in for about a month before we take them out and get them started as seeds. Okay, and take your swamp milkweed seeds. I have a little packet of seeds right here. And just gently pour them out onto the wet paper towel. They're precious, so get them all out of your bag. Knock them all out of there so we can have all of them. All right. Kind of spread them out a little bit around on the paper towel. And then cover them up with the other side. Fold that in half. Put the swamp milkweed seeds in the paper towel into the Ziploc bag. I don't close the top. I leave it unclosed because when I close the top, I notice sometimes it starts to mold. So I just leave it open so it has a little bit of airflow in there. Just, every once in a while check on it, make sure that the paper towel is still damp. Now let's go on to our next seed. We have Joe Pye weed. Joe Pye weed is a powerhouse plant for pollinators. Some of the butterflies that visit Joe Pye weeds include tiger swallowtails, monarchs, skippers, and azures. Joe Pye weeds are also highly attractive to bees, including honeybees, bumblebees, cuckoo bees, and leafcutter bees. It is also a host plant for the caterpillars of several moth species. After the flowers go to seed, swamp sparrows will often feed on those seeds. All right, so we were looking at the Joe Pye weed here. So get your paper towel wet again. And then just sprinkle that seed out. Okay, so I got all of my Joe Pye weed seeds into the damp paper towel, and I'm going to stick it in here, another plastic bag which I labeled Joe Pye weed February 7th, and that is ready to go. I will do that with all of my plants that require cold stratification for germination. I also have here purple coneflower. Purple coneflower doesn't require the cold stratification. However, people have reported that the germination rate is improved with cold stratification, so it doesn't hurt and it can help. It could be very useful, so you might give it a try with your coneflower. There are many hybrid coneflowers that don't serve pollinators as well as wild types do. Consider planting purple coneflower, pale purple coneflower, or other wild echinacea to maximize your garden's value to pollinators and other wildlife. Echinacea species support many insect pollinators, including bumblebees, leafcutter bees, carpenter and honeybees, swallowtail butterflies, monarchs, fritillaries, and more. Nearly all Echinacea species serve as host for the larvae of silvery checkerspot butterfly and several moths, including the wavy-lined emerald and the sunflower moth. The rich nectar in these flowers also attract hummingbirds, and once the seeds have ripened, they become food for songbirds like the American goldfinch. And I also have passion flower vine. The flowers attract a wide range of pollinators, including a variety of bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. The passion flower vine is also the larval host plant for several butterflies, especially the Gulf fritillary. It plays a vital role in their life cycle. The flowers are followed by small yellow-orange fruits, which are edible and can be eaten fresh from the vine by you or songbirds and small mammals in your garden. You will cold stratify all of these things in the same way. Put them in the paper towel, in the damp paper towel, fold them up, put them into your labeled plastic bag, and then find a safe spot in your refrigerator to put them. Now, we're going to leave them in that safe spot in the refrigerator for about a month. So definitely label the day on there, and maybe even put a reminder on your phone that in 1 month your seeds are cold stratified and it's ready to start in the seed starting soil. In the next episode in March, we will take out our pollinator plant seeds and start sprouts, start seedlings, and I hope you will join me then. We are at Green Meadows Preserve today, and I'm here with Lamarcus Lewis, who has agreed to do a photography segment. This photography segment will include tips and tricks to take cool pics around our nature parks in Cobb County.
We'll be doing tips and tricks on how to use cameras, and like this one right here, this is a R7. And then we'll help you also take photos with your cell phones. It doesn't matter what you use, anybody can be a photographer. We'll also have special guests that come on, and they will give tips and tricks on how to get the best position and how to catch birds and flight or animals early in the morning. It'll be fun.
Another thing that we will have with the photography segment is a chance for our viewers, Cobb County residents, to share their pictures that they've taken around Cobb County, whether that's in their park or in their backyard.
That'll be a future addition to the show. I'm gonna give out an email, and people can send their photos to that email address. We'll take a look at them, and we'll pick some to be on the show.
All right, Lamarcus, I can't wait to see the new segment, and I'm sure the viewers are looking forward to it. That'll be included in our March episode of Cobb Nature Show.
Hey everybody! So last time we gave some tips on how to recycle cardboard into some fun structures for your cat. Today we're going to be talking about some tips to reduce waste at home. So starting off, packing a lunch. Packing a lunch is great because not only is it economically friendly, but it's environmentally friendly. You typically cut down on styrofoam waste, plastic waste, whether that's in your utensils or in your bag. So, but not just any packed lunch will do. Right here, I have a nice woven reusable lunchbox. Having a designated reusable lunchbox like this, instead of using a paper or plastic bag, means this is something you can clean and reuse for months or years on end, rather than maybe just a couple of days or maybe a week at most. Inside, I have lots of goodies, like a cottage cheese container, great for using Tupperware rather than having to buy a new Tupperware. A plastic water bottle. This is designated for reuse rather than a Dasani water bottle, which will slowly degrade over time. I have a washcloth, which is nice and easy to just throw into the laundry and get it nice and clean rather than using multiple paper towels. And finally, I have a metal fork instead of a plastic one. It can just go right in the dishwasher, and I have several that I can swap out throughout the week. Reusing containers can be very versatile. Whether you're reusing a lunch meat container as a Tupperware for your lunch, all you have to do is peel off that sticker and it's ready to use. Or you can use glass jars as temporary storage, whether that's dry storage, or maybe you would like to store a nice yogurt parfait or a quick breakfast that you'll eat early on. Storing things in a can like this is not the same as canning, so remember to refrigerate your food and be safe. Rather than just throwing away Your egg crates, they're very handy for sprouting seeds and starting up new plants. Maybe you want to have an indoor garden or a pollinator garden. These items are a great way to get started. Cleaning containers are also a great product to be reused. Some bathroom products and cleaning products actually have refillable options. So instead of having to buy all those chemicals in that plastic container again, you can actually buy a bulk refillable option and simply fill those bottles over and over again. Or you can make your own cleaning solutions and use them at home. These are typically more environmentally friendly as they use less harmful chemicals.
And if you like books, like of course we do, we have books for you. And right today we're going to talk about bird books. And some of our nonfiction bird books, we have the Peterson's Field Guide. If you like to go out and look at birds, you can identify them. More identification of birds, and we have some backyard bird identification books. We also have books that are fiction books about birds, and some of our favorites that we have right now are The Wren by Anne Enright. And this book actually won the Booker Prize, and it is a great book for family character studies. And another book that we are really liking right now is All the Little Bird Hearts by Victoria Lloyd Barlow. And it's really just a glimpse into the mind of an autistic woman, and also the author herself is autistic. So it's a very interesting read that we have right now. So we hope you come down and pick up some of these books and many more that we have. Thank you. All the Little Bird Hearts by Victoria Lloyd Barlow. Bird Families of North America, Pete Dunn and Kevin T. Carlson. The Wren by Anne Enright. All the Backyard Birds of the East. It's an American Bird Conservancy compact guide. The Peterson Field Guide to Birds.
I was walking down here at Price Park the other day, and I noticed some sign of a beaver near Alatoona Creek. And I thought you guys might want to see it too. The stump of a tree where a beaver has chewed it up. It was really fresh on Monday. It's Friday now, so it's been about a week. But you can see all the little peels of wood and bark where he was chewing on that stump. And right over here, you can see where he was going in and out of the water with his tree trunks. You can see this little slide area. And down there you can see some beaver tracks. Really hard to see from our point of view, but this is definitely where he was going in with his prize trees. We have some more cool beaver facts for you here. These are some of our bio facts, and this is a beaver pelt. Beaver fur is very thick and warm. There's 2 layers of fur, and they have a special oil that their body produces, and they rub that oil all over their fur to stay waterproof. Now they have to reapply that oil pretty regularly to stay waterproof. And beaver fur was extremely popular during the fur trade because people like to use it to line their boots to help them stay waterproof. And Holden has some other things to look at.
So if you've ever wondered how beavers are able to just chomp down on tree branches like this, the secret is in their teeth. As you can see, their teeth has a very deep, almost orange-red color. And the reason is because they have high concentration of iron right there in their incisors. So we have iron in our body throughout our blood, but beavers specifically evolved a higher concentration in their teeth so they can just nom all over thick, hard, sturdy tree branches all day, either using them for their den or storing them for food.
Now, if you run across cool things in our parks or even in your backyard and they're about nature and you have questions about them, then you can email me at candice.cook@cobbcounty.org
or holden.robertson@cobbcounty.org. We'd love to hear from you.
And we might even feature your questions on the show in a future episode.
Hi guys. Oh, wait. What kind of bird is that? Yesterday we had a goldfinch here at the library. I was so excited. We have a brand new bird feeder and the goldfinches have already found it. Now, do you know what a goldfinch is? It's bright yellow and it's really small. Sometimes getting into birding, which is what people that go bird watching call it, is a little bit complicated. So I have this really fun book that moms and dads and kids, it's so much fun. It starts and makes bird watching so easy. It's called Crow, Not Crow, and it's written by Jane Yolen and Adam Stempel, and the pictures are by Elizabeth Dulemba. It's so much fun. It starts out with something so easy. What kind of bird is that? And the first thing you say is it a crow? A crow is a giant black bird with a very dark eye and a very dark beak. And then it goes all the way down to figuring out it's not a crow. What else could it be? And then it works its way down. It's a great way of sharing bird watching for parents and children. Common Backyard Birds by Doris Dumroff. And it's some of the most common birds. See right here? There's this bright yellow bird. It's not a goldfinch. It's a different kind. It's an evening grosbeak. But it'll give you a chance to keep looking. I think that's what it is. I'd have to look it up better. But there are all these common birds that you're likely to see in your yard. And if you have a bird feeder, then you're even more likely to see them. How to feed backyard birds. And here there really are goldfinches on the back here, and that's my favorite. So it's everything from just feeding for hummingbirds and feeding for all the other birds that are common in your backyard. How to feed backyard birds, a step-by-step guide for kids, and it's by Chris Early. It's just got wonderful ideas to help you know what to feed the birds, because every bird eats something different. And some of that's more complicated than others. Some of it's really easy, and you can make these bird feeders with things you have at home. Like right here, I have a jar of peanut butter, a pine cone, and some sunflower seeds. Now here at the library, our nature club grew the sunflowers and we harvested these, so we're feeding the birds here at the library with the sunflower seeds that we grew over the summer. But we mix them in with the peanut butter, put them in the pine cone, and then hang the pine cone out and wait until all of those birds come. For these, you're very likely to get something like a chickadee. You know, those ones that say chickadee, dee, dee. So have fun, come to the library and see our garden, and hopefully there'll be a goldfinch at the feeder for you as well. Nature Club meets every Thursday afternoon at 4:30, and it's for kids aged 6 to 12. And we actually have partners here at the park that come and do a second Thursday of every month. They're teaching us all sorts of stuff. We did clouds last month. We're doing birds this coming month. And we've done skulls and fossils and just tons of fun stuff. I'm looking forward to the insects and the tracks and maybe learning what animals around are by seeing what kind of poop they have. So come join us at the library. Look forward to seeing y'all. And I'm going to get back to looking at our bird feeder. Thank you very much. Crow, Not Crow by Jane Yolen and Adam Stempel. Common Backyard Birds, Doris Dumroff. And How to Feed Backyard Birds, a step-by-step guide for kids by Chris Early.
Hello everyone and welcome to Price Park. My name is Amy and I'm a volunteer with the board of Friends of Price Park. Today we're going to be making a fun little wind chime craft that you can hang indoors or outdoors or even on your porch. We're using things that you can be found in the yard or around the house. So let's get started. The first thing I did is I went in my backyard and I found a really cool stick. I like this stick because it's got tons of cool colors and fun details and cute little branches. Next thing I did was I thought, what makes a beautiful sound? So I went through my kitchen and found some old knives I don't use. put little strings on them, and don't they sound cool? All right, let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is take my yarn and I'm gonna cut a little holder string for it. So I'm thinking about this much, sure. You can use lots of different things instead of yarn. I'm using green yarn for the purpose that you can see exactly what I'm doing. You can also use elastic, fishing wire, or even tiger tail that can be found in the jewelry department. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie this around one of the little branches so it doesn't slip off the end. I'm just gonna put a cute little knot here. There we go. And I'm gonna take this one. How about right here? And sometimes when I'm tying my knots and I get all done, I might put a little touch of super glue or glue gun right there just to help keep the knot a little more secure. Alrighty, let's kind of see what that looks like. Not too bad, I kind of like it. All right, then what we're gonna do is cut a piece of string for our knife. Usually what I like to do is do the whole nose to fingertip thing. I like to make sure it's nice and long so I don't have to recut it because I made it too short. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie it around the fattest part of the knife. Once again, so it doesn't slip off. Do a cute little tie there. Cute little tie there. And voila, it's ready to go. So I'm just gonna kind of take a look at this and tie them wherever I think it seems pretty cool. All right, so I finished tying my beautiful wind chimes on my stick, and isn't it really cool? Now, you can use anything. You can use spoons, you can use bells, you can use bamboo. I just use these because they're nice and big and easy to work with, and you could kind of see how to get started. So, what do you think? All right, well, thanks for joining me at Price Park, and for more information about Price Park, please go to friendsofpricepark.org. Thanks, and hope to see you again soon.